What is up, my little pack? I'm Amaterasu Wolf 1, and welcome back to the Final Fantasy XIV. Ere I forget, I believe Moonbreeder has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume there has been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment. I shall be along once I've completed my communications with the Crystal Braves. Oh, she's over here. She's over here. Buh! All done with your talk of dragons? Wonderful, the Ascians are next on the menu. Let's head to the solar, shall we? Okie dokie. La 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 la.
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon.
Okay.
I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Do tell. Oh good, we're doing this again.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void.
Okay.
Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white auracite has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hang on a minute. Why didn't we think of this before? White auracite can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
We'll fin over this, Ida.
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white auracite cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they?
Oh, joy.
While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them.
Yep.
What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian's soul? Or still more?
I do not envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around, on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
Oh, I thought I had to sneeze. Apparently I don't.
That's the very problem we set out to solve, and I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source.
What source?
And the only viable source is the land.
Oh.
If you mean to tap the Great River of Aether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land?
Well, she has a point.
I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea.
But how did we even do that?
I've yet to put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
If you think it worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, what are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out.
Huh.
Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Mordona makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether.
Yeah.
Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
What about Northern Thanalan?
May I suggest Northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum.
Oh, joy.
During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant.
Of course they do.
Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go.
Sway, just like that, Aya.
Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Arceans will next appear.
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
Though you have become a crystal brave, you are yet a scion, Alphino. We could hardly refuse you. Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support.
Will do.
Thangrid and Papalimo shall accompany you.
Okie dokie. Sounds good.
Ida and Yashtola, in the meantime I would have you assist Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white orosite.
Thank you, Arianger. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you are able. Go well, and be safe.
Off we go to another adventure. No, don't teleport yet. Speak to Alphanil first, then teleport to Northern Thanalan. Twould seem that events have once again conspired us. Twould seem that events have once again more conspired to. What are words? Twould seem that events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation. Though I wish it were otherwise, I must ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. The Fourth have already deployed to the area, and await the arrival of the Scions. Wilred will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Nilbert at our headquarters in Ul'dah. I shall take command of our forces there with a lighter heart, knowing you go to support the front lines. Oh, cutscene. Your duties take you to Northern Thanalan, do they not? Yep. We too must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Oh my god, is that an I or an L? Fehamin? Fehamin travels to Ul'dah, and we shall serve as her escort. At my daughter's behest, I go to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations, threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see, and it is my hope that they can be convinced to aid the Scion's cause. If past events have taught us anything, we know that Eorzea must present a united front, or we shall fall. Ah, how extraordinary that my little Asilia is involved in such far-fetching affairs. I am proud that I might now stand by her side not only as a mother, but also as a colleague. A colleague with influential connections, but I fear that Ul'dah has become a place of danger, even for one so familiar with her streets. Bah! Won't be tied the blackguard so much as glares in your direction, milady. I shall be well protected, it seems. Shall I be on our way then? See you guys later. Oh, what's up? Okay, bye. Have fun. Okay, now I teleport to the processing plant. No, I'm still saving those things for Stormblood. I could put them on my retainer, but I know the moment I put them on my retainer for storage, I'm just gonna forget about them. Anyway, get out of the RP outfit, get into White Mage mode. Oh wait, are you inside or on the roof? Inside first. That's a strange place to do push-ups, but okay. Okay, where are you? Oh, there you are. Logan! Commander Levier sent word that you'd be coming. A veteran of your talents is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I've learned a trick or two since that disaster of the Amalja. But returning to the task at hand, the Flames reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Raban's Push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing: getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. The Guardians could begin marching on us at any time, and I think it's time we speak with Lieutenant Edelston to finalize our counter strategy. Sergeant Ornir, my soldiers have Sergeant Ornir, my soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Archon. Would that we could sit a while and reminisce about old times. Are the Guardians on the move then? Not as such. The civilian draftsmen have, however, come across several highly suspicious crates within the boundaries of the processing plant. I had my sappers take a closer look, and our worst fears were confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices of Imperial design, no less. Found inside the plant, you say? But how? We've had guards stationed at the perimeter day and night. It's likely the plant was infiltrated long before the Braves arrived. Master Thancred, have the Scions come in first then? All who could be spared, yes. Now there are likely more of these Imperial explosives about the place, so I suggest we spread out and conduct a thorough sweep of the compound. Considering the volatile nature of Ceruleum, allowing even one such device to escape our search may lead us enjoying an uncomfortably close view of a rather spectacular explosion. Right then, I'll pass the word on to the fort. What exactly should we do with these crates should we find them? Bring them to me. Carefully, mind you. My sappers will render the devices harmless as they did with the first batch we found. Very well, let's get started, shall we? This won't take too long. Spread out and search for clues. Okay, I know this one over here. I see the shiny. Hiccup. Okay. There we go. Inconspicuously suspicious item. One. Oh, hey, Moonbreeder. There's another one. I know there's one on top of there. I don't remember where the last one is. Hey, Ada. Oh, there it is. Three. And then up the stairs. Get stuck on the stairs before going up them. Okay, here we go. It's over here. Up. There it is. It's right there. Right in the end there. This just sprints, it's gonna be faster. And 4. Woohoo! Probably cast protect. There we go. There you are. I got them. Should you discover any containers that appear out of place, then hand them over to me. My sappers will determine whether or not these objects are explosives, and then disarm them should they prove to be so. There you go. I got 4 of them. There are 4 of those blasted things? I'll have our engineers disassemble them at once. Fine work as always, Sergeant Ornir. Sergeant? The entire compound has now been scoured from top to bottom, so I should hope that's the last we've seen of these explosives. Our troubles with Castor Meridianum, however, are far from over. Scouts have returned with news of movement on the front. That's not good. We've been keeping a close eye on that Guardian garrison, and it would seem the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squads seen leaving the castrum are too few in number to effectively take and hold our position. They will likely mount to a swift assault and focus on acquisition of resources. I have, of course, also shared their support with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take to the field and meet this assault head-on. Pray report to Lieutenant Alnay and lend your much welcome strength to the counter-offensive. Okay. Okay, you're not in the house. You're right here. The heck did you get that axe from? Glad to have you with us, Arlieth. As I'm sure Lieutenant Idelstein has explained, the Guardians have deployed a small force from Castle Meridiana. Their main column assembles to the north of Dalamud's talents, but we've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. They wish to rush you forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the planet and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men. Captain Ilbert. Greetings, Scions. I understand the commander bids you and your fellows to come lend a hand to the Braves. With such mighty heroes at its disposal, the force should have little trouble contending with aught the Guardians might throw at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The Third was getting restless holed up in Uldad, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the planet's defenses and add their numbers to your counterattack. The reinforcements are welcome. We have enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage the enemy far beyond the walls. Aye, it would seem best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this Ceruleum. Let's take this fight to the Guardians. A wise course indeed. I shudder to think of the consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scions shall join the Fourth and give battle to this main column. You're with the Third then, warrior of light. Your job will be to intercept these squads hiding out in the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant. Sounds easy enough. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yu Hase. His scouts should have a rough idea of where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. And away we go. Because the Guardians never learn. A pleasure to be fighting at your side once more, Scion. Our operations invariably succeeded when you're around, and victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. What is with you and money? Now, this detached force we've been sent to eliminate has split into smaller squads, the better to conceal themselves within the Terran hereabouts. I imagine. The better to conceal themselves within the Terran hereabouts, I imagine. We'll need to split ourselves up to cover more ground and make sure we root out all these would-be raiders. And seeing as you are an army unto yourself, I've assigned you your own areas to scour clean of the enemy soldiers. Aye, this will be a circle, search, and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting, Scion. Okay. Ah, a chocobo stable. Oh well, I can do this without him. Hello, evil ring of death. How are you today? And that's his most overpowered white mage move. So overpowered. It's so overpowered and I love it. Oh, no, okay. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, hello, Earth Sprites. Don't get caught in my holy, please. I don't want to fight you, too. Oh, you're gonna get caught in the holy, aren't you? You got caught in the holy. I warned you. But you didn't listen. Well, this is your own fault. Okay, there we go. Well, that was easy. Magic cloud. Magic cloud. Oh, there he is. Hey, bud. Hey, dude. What's up? You seem grim, Scion. I'll take that to mean that between us, more than a few Guardians will be making it back to the Castro. These Imperials, though, they certainly made us earn our pay. I would be a happy man if I never had to tussle with another one of those Magitech horrors. It is time we bid this war-torn land farewell. I will contact the Fourth and let Lieutenant Elena know the West is now clear. I would appreciate it if you would do the same when you report to Lieutenant Idleston. Okie dokie, let us go. What? Whoop, 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 whoop. Sergeant Torinier, what news of the Guardians? They're raiding parties to know more then. Excellent. The Amaja engineers will most be relieved. Wait. The Amagina engineers will be most relieved to hear that the plant is no longer in any immediate danger. Thank you again for your assistance. But you know, that's kind of my job, so... You must be anxious for word of your fellows. So Lieutenant Elian has reported a sound victory over the main column and informs me that the Scions have already turned their attention to other duties. All but one, that is, the Rogaidan lady with the large axe. To it appears she has chosen to remain at the site of the battle. I know not what task keeps her from returning to civilization, but Northern Thailand is no place to wander alone. Even for a capable sort such as her, I would certainly feel better about things if you could check in on her before you continue on your way. Sure thing. Oh, I don't want the dumb Moogle. I will live with the behemoth, though. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Oh, it's crazy. Wait. Where am I going? Ah, I'm going backwards! Going backwards! Ugh. Hey! Hey, you, piss off! Piss off! Okay, that was gross. Go away! Turn around! Turn around! Thank you.
Hold on, I won't be a second. The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe. I know. As Urianger never tires of reminding me, an axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one. And it's not as if it stopped me picking up a quill, is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea. Him and my excruciatingly stiff childhood friend. Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it?
Well, it wouldn't be any fun if it wasn't.
Aye, that ought to do it.
Well?
So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry. Just enough ether to make it interesting. Did you see that? The way the crystal glowed?
Well, no duh.
The siphon works, I'm happy to say.
Yay!
With a few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether. Which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade.
Yep, that's still an issue.
I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
She senses me. A useful talent.
An Ascian, are they onto us?
By your brand, I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan, keeper of knowledge, seeker of truth, meddler.
I don't know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
Your instincts serve you well. But come, be not unsettled on my account. That lovely brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath. Let me direct my words to one who understands them. We meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales.
Nabriales.
And you have long been a thorn in my side. I suffered the overweening presence of La Habrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
Oh, bugger. Oh.
Do settle down.
Wow.
You must concede that I acted in self-defense. But what's this? I do not sense the blessing of light. Oh dear. Could it be that frail Hydaelyn has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee.
It was a dragon, dude.
Shorn of light as you are no longer a threat. And better yet, the seal is broken.
Are you sure I'm still not a threat?
Now is the time to claim the staff. With it in my grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
What did that bastard want with us? Nabriales, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet. Unconscious. But this staff, you say just talking about it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day. Must be quite a staff. Oh, gods. He means Tupsimati, Master Louis Soir's staff. Minfilia's in danger. We have to get back to the Rising Stones.
And so we shall. Don't you turn around. Here we are. You're here. Master Louis Sua's staff is kept in solar, isn't it? Quickly now.
You two.
So, you were able to divine my intent. What now, warrior of light? Ah, but that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull, and quite incapable of barring my entry.
You're so rude.
What do you mean?
You truly do not know? Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you. The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain. My kind, I say, though it had no power over the likes of Elidibus and La Habrea. Being of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on. But I need look no longer. Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
Rejoining? Then it was your doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
You will not harm her!
Moondowns.
Moonbreeder!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting? Ah, but I forget. My words fall upon deaf ears.
The staff is but a broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
What use? You mean to say that all this time you kept the key, never knowing what it was you possessed?
Apparently.
The staff Tupsimati, or rather the stone tablet it bears, is host to a great power.
Oh.
Together with the horn, it can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings.
The heck is the horn?
How else do you think Louis Soir was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
If I did not know before, you may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
Insufferable woman. I would happily end your miserable life here and now. Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
After them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
And it's up to me to save the day again. 'Cause, you know, why wouldn't it be up to me?